We are now 6 months on from Brexit. This is a follow-up video to the one I did 3 months ago. The link for that is below if you're interested. We now have a bit more data so we can see how things are progressing. Okay, so the government's prediction that upon leaving there would be an immediate and profound economic shock with the economy tipped into a 2-year recession was wrong. The markets are up and the UK will be the fastest growing G7 country this year. Unemployment is down. The 500,000 lost jobs the government's predicted clearly being wrong. Now there has been a devaluation in the pound. Right now the pound is around 6% lower against the euro as it was pre-Brexit and around 15% lower against the dollar. A lot of people have been acting pretty hysterically about this. 2 points on this. First, this is a good thing. It's good for exports, good for British businesses and jobs. Sure, a devaluation has a knock-on impact on inflation. Let's see how that's doing. It's currently running at 1.2%, so still below the Bank of England's target of 2%. The OBR has inflation forecast to reach 2.5%, so just slightly above the target, but still way below what it's been in recent years. The second point is that the pound was going to devalue anyway. Brexit probably brought that devaluation forward, but analysts were saying all of last year that we had the most overvalued currency in the world. Deutsche Bank said the pound would fall to 127 this year against the dollar and 115 in 2017. We're currently around 123, so pretty close given they did the forecast back when the pound was 149. In other words, when they did the forecast, they were saying the pound would go down by 15%, and the IMF agreed, and it went down by 17%. Were people running around screaming when these forecasts came out? No. They're only doing so now due to the general absurd Brexit hysteria. In response to my previous video, a few people responded, but we haven't left yet. 2 points on this. First, the government's forecast was for recession should the UK vote to leave. It said nothing about an immediate triggering of Article 50. Secondly, the exact timing of the triggering of Article 50 or the final completion of the paperwork is fairly irrelevant. Markets are based on future expectations, and as you can see, stock prices have not collapsed. They've gone up. The stock market is pretty much the highest it's ever been, and house prices have risen when they were supposed to have fallen. Whoops. So all this Project Fear stuff has been shown to be rubbish. So what next from the Remain camp? Well, I'm pleased to see quite a few Remain voters are now accepting the result. However, there's still quite a few who are trying to overturn the referendum. Initially, they were all attacking Boris, calling people extremists, saying they were lied to about the £350 million. See my video from 3 months ago on that if you're interested, link below. Now they've made up the terms soft Brexit and hard Brexit. Soft essentially meaning no Brexit, and they're deliberately lying about trade. Almost every country in the world has access to a single market. Having access to the market is different from being in the single market. If you are in the single market, then all of the EU's market rules and regulations apply to you domestically. Also, currently, all members accept free movement of people. Having access to just means you can sell your stuff there, like the vast majority of the world does. The biggest selling phone in the UK last year was the iPhone, designed in America and built in China. Neither of these countries are members of a single market. Neither of these countries even have free trade arrangements with the EU, yet they're able to sell their products here. Have a check around your house, how many American, Chinese, Taiwanese, Japanese, Indian and Australian products you have. None of these countries are in the single market, or even have a free trade arrangement with the EU. A free trade arrangement would be good, but even if we didn't get that, it wouldn't be the cataclysm that the Ramonas are making out. If we didn't get a trade deal, we would default to World Trade Organization tariffs. The average WTO tariff across the EU is around 3.5%. As you remember I said earlier, the pound is devalued by around 6% against the euro. So even if no trade deal is agreed, and I think we will get one, but even if there is no deal, on average our exporters will be more competitive than they were at the start of the year. Bear that in mind next time someone starts talking about the Brexpocalypse. There are some things that we do need to negotiate, and I'll do a full video on those early next year. And sure, the tariff figure isn't average, there will be some variation across products, but suffice to say, 6 months on, Brexit has not led to the end of Western civilization. Merry Christmas, YouTube.